You're all by yourself down a dark back alley and a guy jumps out of the shadows and attacks you. Who would you rather that person be? Conor McGregor or Nate Diaz? All right, Jake Paul is at it again. Yes, Jake Paul's fighting Hazeem Rahman Jr., but he's still taking shots at a lot of people. And case in point, Conor McGregor. And this week he was talking about Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz and pontificating over who he would rather fight. First of all, I will say this to you, Jake Paul. You need to focus on your opponent at hand. Hazeem Rahman Jr., when I saw that press conference the other day, he looked very, very confident and he's a big guy. And yes, his competition hasn't been the best, but neither has yours. Let's be honest. Now, Jake Paul, he's very entertaining. I'll give him that. He came out this week and did a video about Conor McGregor, comparing his rise to McGregor's rise. And it doesn't really work like that. He said, in my fifth fight, you earned 150 grand or something, and I earned 15 million. In your fifth fight, there was 2 people in the crowd. In my fifth fight, it was at Madison Square Garden. Some shit like that. In fact, take a look at the video.
Conor McGregor just tweeted at me because of this interview.
He has to get active again. You know, who knows when that's going to happen.
These are his tweets, and here's my response. Conor. You're more active on Twitter than you are in the octagon. Stop taking Trenbolone and start taking fights. You're more actively cheating on your wife than you are in the octagon. Your priorities are mixed up. Put down the bottle and get back to fighting. You haven't won a fight in 5 fucking years, and the last time you did was against Cowboy Cerrone, who hasn't won a fight against anyone since fighting you. I'm a nobody, you say in this tweet. Well, yeah, you're right. I'm just a fucking kid from Ohio. I really am a nobody, but this is where you fought your 6th fight. There's literally 2 people in the crowd. And this is where I'm gonna be fighting my 6th fight. Madison Square Garden, the mecca of boxing. August 6th. I know you'll be watching, kiddo. Here's another fun fact. In your 18th fight, you made $150,000. In my 5th fight, I made $15 million. You wanna talk about pay-per-view buys? Nate Robinson, $1.8 million. Ben Askren, $500,000. Tyron Woodley 1, $500,000. Tyron Woodley 2. No one even wanted to see that fight. And we got 200,000 pay-per-view buys. In the last 5 years, you've had 0 pay-per-view buys because you don't fucking fight. You have a lot to say about me, but I'm sharing millions of dollars with underpaid fighters while you're sharing hookers with Dana White. Oops, I'm sorry, Conor. I know your PR team is trying to hide that video. You shouldn't have fucked with me, Conor. This is my game. There's a new king in town. I'm running shit now. What's up, Conor? What's up? What's up? Last year, when I won Knockout of the Year, you were just getting knocked out. Fix your calcium deficiency, stop breaking your bones, and let's get in the fucking ring and make $200 million. Conor, no matter how you slice it, we're just not on the same level. I'm my own boss. Yeah, you made $100 million when you fought Floyd, but Dana took half of it. So no matter what you do or what you make, cut that shit in half. We went net worth for net worth. I would shit on you, Conor. Put the bottle down, get off of Twitter, get back in the ring, and shut the fuck up. I'm gonna put you back on a leash. Fuck you, Conor.
So as you can see, you know, Jake Paul firing all kinds of shots, you know. But listen, Conor McGregor is coming back. His coach, John Kavanagh, came out this week and said that he is now back to full training in every facet of mixed martial arts, which includes kicking and checking kicks and doing jiu-jitsu and all the rest of it. So that's great. Well done. Well done. We'll see Conor back in the octagon pretty soon. He's just going to have to get off those supplements because he's bulked up a little bit. And Nate Diaz, as we know, he is pushing for a fight. He wants to get out of his contract with the UFC, wants to have his final fight. I always said the fight they should make for Diaz should be Conor McGregor, but he's not going to have a chance to do that because McGregor was injured. Well, a lot of time has passed and now McGregor's fighting, so you never know. We might just see Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 3. And I hope so. I do. As a fan of the first 2 fights, I would love to see the trilogy. We all want to see that, but still, that's not what this video is about. This is about who would you rather fight, Conor McGregor or Nate Diaz? Because that is the question that Jake Paul was asking earlier this week. So Jake Paul was on the Morning Combat podcast and he said, listen, I think Conor would be a tougher fight just because of his experience in the ring. He's definitely a better striker and Nate gets hit a lot more. He went on and said, Conor is just going to do everything he can to discredit me. He just wants attention, Paul said. If I'm a nobody, then why are you tweeting at me 10 minutes after it comes out? It's like he had my notifications on. Then he went on to say about McGregor, I think it's very possible that I fight McGregor. He's just being inactive. I'm the one who's fighting. I'm the one who's building my brand. I'm the one who's going uphill while his entire career has been going downhill. So if and when the stars align, we can make that happen 100%. 100%. So listen, Jake's doing his thing. He's discrediting Conor. He's talking a bit of shit. The reality is, come on, Conor doesn't need fucking attention from anybody. He does not need Jake Paul to get attention. Conor McGregor, I would say, he's probably the most famous fighter on the goddamn planet. Certainly one of the wealthiest. That's a goddamn fact. He does not need Jake Paul. However, I understand Jake is going to do his thing. He's going to call McGregor out. He's going to try and get headlines. They're going back and forth. They're talking shit. But whatever. I don't think we'll ever see Jake Paul and Conor McGregor. Maybe we will. We might see Jake Paul and Nate Diaz, because if Nate fights Conor, then Nate's out the door and he'll go and fight Jake Paul. But still, let's talk about what Jake Paul said there. He said that Conor's got more experience in the ring. Nate Diaz gets hit a lot and Conor hits harder. So if you were walking down a back alley and someone jumped out of the shadows and they were going to attack you, who would you rather that be? Let's just assume that you know a little bit about mixed martial arts. All right, so let's go through them. Striking, right? They're both very, very good strikers. Conor McGregor is fast as lightning, very, very powerful, very precise. And when he first came to the UFC, he used to use a lot of kicks, a lot of spinning wheel kicks, low kicks, jumping kicks, flying knees, all the rest of it. These days, we don't see as much as that, of that. It's more of a boxing approach. But when it comes to power, precision, and actual technique of the shots, I give McGregor the advantage. Yes, Diaz can bang. Yes, Diaz wobbled McGregor in that first fight. That's how he was able to finish him with the rear naked choke. You know, and he's always got great boxing with a high output. But I don't think, number one, it's as technical as McGregor's, and it certainly isn't as explosive. You know what I mean? So I give the striking advantage to Conor McGregor. Now, we come to grappling. I think when it comes to grappling, I think that's an open and shut case. I think that goes to Nate Diaz all day. He's a high-level Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt. That's not to say that Conor can't grapple. He can. Remember in that first fight, I think Diaz caught one of the kicks. McGregor went down, and McGregor actually did a very, very nice sweep. He trains with John Kavanagh, who's a decent Jiu-Jitsu coach. So Conor does everything he needs to. And in fact, look at that fight with Khabib. That fight that Conor had with Khabib, it wasn't that easy for Khabib to take him down. Yes, eventually he did that. He wore him down. But come on, I thought McGregor showed fantastic takedown defense. But if it hits the mat, come on. Diaz actually submitted McGregor, and Diaz is known for that. He's got tremendous jiu-jitsu. So when you compare those two things there, then of course, you know, we got to go with Nate Diaz. Now, this is a big one. Cardio, conditioning, stamina, right? It's a big one, because it doesn't matter how good you are, and I talk about this all the time. I used to weaponize my cardio. If you've got two guys that are equally talented, and one guy's pushing the pace, and one guy's in shape, and the other guy starts to get tired, well, the guy that starts getting tired starts to make mistakes. When they start to make mistakes, they start to receive damage. When they start to receive the damage, they start looking for a way out. They curl up in a ball, and they don't want to be there, okay? Nate Diaz is known for his cardio. Nate Diaz does triathletes in his spare goddamn time, for crying out loud. The man's a psycho. Not my idea of a good time, Paul Felder. But Nate Diaz has got cardio for days, and that's actually what cost Conor in that first fight. I think he said something like, I didn't manage my energy systems correctly, or something like that. So yeah, cardio's got to go to Diaz in that one, because McGregor's actually had an issue with that. The problem is for McGregor and the cardio, and I've spoke about this at length, is that you can't have two types of body at once. You know, a lot of people have fast twitch muscle fibers. They're explosive, they're strong, they're powerful, they're quick. You know, the other one, you know, is more like, so you could say one's a sprinter and one's a marathon runner. Diaz is a marathon runner. He's a triathlete. McGregor would be a sprinter. You can't be both. You know, so McGregor's very fast and explosive, but if fights go on, he starts to fade, you know, and he starts to get tired, whereas Diaz can go on all day. So for sure, when it comes to cardio, Nate Diaz gets that one all day. And then it comes to the final thing, the mind. The mind. Who has got the stronger mind? The mind is the most powerful weapon in the body, the most powerful tool you can have. You got to have confidence going in there. If you haven't got confidence as a fighter, you're already lost the fight. But you can't have too much and be delusional, because then you don't train. The reality is, both of these men, Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz, they're born fighters. They love to do this. McGregor's confidence set the world on fire. You know, he was predicting the round, he was predicting the minute, he was predicting the punch that he was going to end the fight fights in, and people couldn't believe it. Nate Diaz is as real as it gets. That's a goddamn fact. He's not scared of anyone. Look at some of the people that he's been in there with. I mean, Leon Edwards, the #1 contender, fighting Kamaru Usman soon, did not go his way, but in the 5th round, boom, caught him with a huge shot, kind of had Leon wobbled, and I know, I'm sorry to bring that up, Leon, but it's true. The point I'm making when I bring that up is that even in the 5th round of a really tough fight that wasn't going his way, he was still trying to win. He hadn't given up on himself, and he still, landed his best shot in round 5. But McGregor's got a strong mind as well. So both of these guys are very, very good fighters. Who would you rather fight? If one was to jump out from behind the dustbin on a dark, dingy back alley and was going to attack you, who would you rather it be? Because for Jake Paul, sounds like he would rather that be Nate Diaz. I don't know. I'm not going to give you an answer. Fact is, I'll smash them both. That's just the reality. Anyway, there you go, Jake Paul at it again. He's the gift that keeps on giving, isn't he? Hope you're well. Sorry for spamming with the Jake Paul content, but subscribe and ring the bell if you want to see more of it. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.